You're right, it's Monday evening, and it's time for the Lori Boyle Show here on New Earth International with your guest, Lori Boyle.
Hi, and welcome to the show. I'm Lori Boyle, and this is my guest, Paula Hersey, and we are going to talk about public access television. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but Kat Canavas, who has a show on after this one, and I have a TV show here at Public Access, and it's called Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod. And the premise of the show is ordinary people who do extraordinary things. And what we try to do is bring you some great interviews and profile some people who are really interesting and unique and have, something great to say. So we hope you could catch that. You can watch it on YouTube at Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod, and you can also find it on demand at capemedia.org, right? capemedia.org, where we're on demand. Now, tonight's show is a YouTube show for New Earth International, and I wanted to bring on someone who has been working in public access television for a while. And I just want everyone to know about this in their own community, that public access television is available, and it's a wonderful resource for your community and for all the nonprofits and actors. And we're going to talk about just how great it is and how you might be able to take advantage of it in your community. So I want to welcome Paula. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome. Paula is the manager of outreach and special projects here at Cape Cod Media. And her job entails a couple of things: finding other organizations who might be interested in promoting their message on public access, and also finding individuals who might want to produce a show or get involved in television, things like that. So Paula's background is also in IT, and she's going to talk a little bit about those things right now. So first of all, your background is in IT, and that must come in handy with all the incredible technological things that we have going on today and all the technical difficulties we just had trying to put the show up.
Background, yes. This is actually my third career.
Oh, really?
It is. I started off in retail sales and management back out of college in the early 80s, and did that for 16 years. And then realized that the way of retail life was really difficult on your family life, as well as the pay is not very good. And there's a host of things that retail is difficult. So I decided that technology, it was actually the advent of the internet back in the late 90s. The World Wide Web was just heating up. And I decided I wanted to be a part of that. So I taught myself how to be a web developer. I learned how to program several different languages, and then also did a graphic design certificates, those kinds of things. Just took courses and read a lot and used the internet to teach myself, and ended up owning my own company for several years. I had a high-tech firm that I worked with, and then even with that piece was doing some of the technical work as in a Microsoft certified professional and an A+ certified technician. So I have both sides of the house. I have the design side and web programming side, as well as the technical IT side as well. And then just 2 years ago, I decided that I was done owning my own business and kind of wanted to come work for somebody, but knew that I wanted to work for a nonprofit. And Terry and I have known each other, the executive director, for many years. And I sat in his office one day, and I told him I was ready for a change. And he says, well, why don't you come work for me? Mm-hmm. And here I am at C3 TV and loving every minute of it.
Yeah, you seem to. You
I
really
do. I love my job.
And we love having you here.
Thanks.
Kat Canavas and I, as hosts of Wicked Housewives on Cape Cod, we're really just volunteers. We volunteer to do our show, and they have to put it on no matter what.
We
Which
want
is
you to
the
produce.
benefit.
We want you to produce the best show that you possibly can, and that's what our mandate, our mission is for our staff, is to make sure that all of our members produce the best show they can.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's a great experience. I can say that. And the benefit of doing your own show too is that you learn everything about television. You learn the lighting, you learn the cameras, you learn the stage setup, you learn everything there is to know about it, and then you practice as you do your own show. So, it's a big production.
It is.
Actually.
It is. It's difficult for some producers to get started. Number one, that there's a number of jobs and not everybody is suited to one particular job. So sometimes you need crew to do some of those jobs that you're not inclined to do or to do well. So, the staff is always there to help you get started, either directing or switching or doing some of the editing with you, those types of things. And then once we've got you up and running, it's kind of like a mama bird in the nest. We let you fly.
Yeah. And even let me fly, and I make a nosedive every once in a while, but they're always there to help.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest challenge was editing.
Yes.
Now you can edit your own show, and you can take out the bloopers, and you can put in an intro and an outro, and that's I really like that though. It was the hardest thing to learn, but I think you really have control over your show when you do the editing, because you actually are in control of the final product that actually goes on TV.
You are.
So.
And the editing piece of it is, there's multiple applications out there that will help you edit. We use the industry standard Adobe Premiere, but we also have Final Cut if that's something that you would rather learn than Adobe Premiere. And you know what? Some people actually do iMovie. So, it's all what the member really kind of wants to use. We have staff that are really, really good in Adobe Premiere. So that's kind of where we help you get started with that. And then once you have the template down for your show, the editing's much easier.
It is. That's the whole trick, is to have a template for your show, the intro and the outro, and then you have subtitles that you put down there. They're called lower thirds. And, you add those and you wind up with a good show that has an intro and an outro, and it looks like a real TV show.
It is a real TV show.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun to watch yourself on television once in a while. Once in a while, I go, oh, it's 4:30 on Sunday. I'm on TV.
Exactly.
And it's kind of funny. But that the thing about public access is I had no idea it was here until I sort of stumbled upon it, and Kat and I ended up with the show. But how I just found out by just looking on the internet. Kat was trying to promote her book, and I was trying to find venues for her to speak and sign her book. And I came across Public Access Television because you had a book, Books in the World, as a show. And then it said you could join. And so we came down here and joined, and we just loved it. I mean, and the staff is wonderful too.
Yeah.
We have to say that, because, you really couldn't continue to make your product if you didn't like the staff. So, I mean, it's a really friendly place, and they will teach you anything you want to know. So that's
Public Access has been around for a very long time. We are actually part of an acronym called PEG, which is Public Access, Education, and Government. And back when the cable companies first started out there, the fear was that all our community TV stations would go away. So Congress, in 1984, there was an act before that for public access, but in 1984 they strengthened that act and basically mandated the cable companies to pay the local towns for right-of-way. So if you look out your window, you see either telephone poles on the Cape, obviously, and lots of other places around the country. But also what you would see is even on the underground, if you were in the Florida or somewhere, there's those tunnels that they build and those poles that your wires hang on are actually owned by you and I. Our tax dollars paid for that. Those are called public utility right-of-way. So what happened is Congress said, well, we're going to make sure that the community TV still has a voice out there, that our First Amendment right is not trampled on in the TV industry. So they created an act that basically, it was the Telecommunications Act of 1984 that mandated that the town that you lived in could negotiate with the cable company the cost of that right of way. So on your bills, whether it's Verizon or Bright House or Comcast, Xfinity, it doesn't really matter. There's a small fee on your cable bill that's called either local access or franchise fee. And those franchise fees are negotiated every 10 years. And basically that little bit of money that's on your bill, it's usually between $2 and $5, goes to your town. And then the town disperses that money to the local high school, which runs their high school channel, that education channel. And then it goes to your town halls, which would run your government channels. And then the remainder of that goes to something like us, which is a public access center, where the community can come in and voice their First Amendment right and produce a show about anything that they want.
Mhm.
We don't censor at all.
That is incredible, because there are people who have political shows on this station, and they are free to say whatever it is they want to say about whichever political candidate. Or
Political, religious, I think we draw the line at porn and violence. But other than that, pretty much whatever you have to say as your First Amendment right can air on our channel.
Mhm. That's awesome. That's great. I mean, that's a great thing. This is protecting your First Amendment right
It
as a
is.
citizen in the United States. Now, does every community have public access TV?
Pretty much everybody who assesses that franchise fee. So we have heard in the past maybe 1 or 2 years that some of that franchise money is now going to other things besides PEG stations or public access. But in the Northeast here where we live, it's alive and well and thriving. On Cape Cod, there is 8 public access centers on the Cape specifically. We cover 5 towns, so we're the largest on Cape Cod. We have a 65,000 subscriber base. We cover the towns of Barnstable, Yarmouth, Dennis, Harwich, and Chatham, which is the concentration of population here on Cape Cod. Falmouth, Mashpee, and Sandwich have their own stations, as well as Bourne. Then the Lower Cape actually combines 5 towns as well, and then Provincetown is their own.
That's incredible. That's a lot of public access.
It is, and again, all across, Boston has several. Cambridge has got their own. Somerville's got their own. Malden. All of these smaller little towns within the sphere of Boston all have public access, and again, it's one of those community pieces where not only can you come in and produce your own show, but we can go out and cover your event. So that's one of our mission statements as well, is that we will help you either if you're maybe a senior center and you have an event for seniors, we'll actually send one of our staff members out there with a camera, with audio, and record that and put it back on the channel, so people who couldn't get to your event would then be able to see it on TV.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's great, because then you include everybody, and if they couldn't make it, they can watch it on television. So
And that's a big part of community access is inclusion. Again, it's your First Amendment right to talk about or to produce any show that interests you.
And the other thing, there's a Alliance for Community Media organization, and they basically, you become a member of that. But I did notice they just had printed out who won the awards this year for all the TV stations, and a lot of them are in the Northeast.
Correct.
Marlboro, Falmouth won an award.
Yep.
I mean, they're all up here in the Northeast mostly. I would say 80% of the winners.
Well, what you're seeing is just the Northeast region. It's actually a whole United States. So when we meet next month, there's a big conference that folks like myself will go to. The Alliance for Community Media is actually a nationwide organization, then broken into regions.
Okay.
So what you're seeing is the Northeast region's awards.
Okay.
But the rest of the country also has their own region, and you would see their awards for them as well under their own region.
Oh, okay. I thought it was everybody. So are you talking about the one in Boston?
Yep.
Next
That's in August, I
It's
believe.
in
Yeah. In
August.
fact, I just got my registration confirmation today. I'll be there for all 3 days.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. So there, I'm sure you will make contacts with other people who have public access television.
Yeah, it'll be all of our peers
Uh-huh.
from, basically the entire country. So the Alliance for Community Media's national convention
Mhm.
is actually in Boston this year, which is fantastic. Other years it's been out in California or Texas. It could be anywhere in the country. This year it's in Boston. It's in our backyard. So
Yeah. Yeah,
myself, I'll be going, and then Sarah Colvin, who runs the government channel for Barnstable and is one of our board members here at the Media Center, will go to the conference. We're there for 3 days.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Girls' weekend.
It kind of, yeah. In fact, our boss actually got a hotel at the Westin for the weekend, so we don't have to fight the Cape traffic
Oh, is that nice?
back and forth, which is really nice.
Yeah, that is great. That is really great. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun too.
I think so. It's a learning. There's lots of workshops for us as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, I did see the menu there for workshops, and a
Mhm.
lot of it is about community outreach and ideas of what you can put on television and things like that. But here at Community Media, they really try to cover everything that's happening. Like at DY High School, there was just one of the interns just covered the Walk for the Cancer.
Relay for Life.
Relay for Life, yeah.
That is actually, I actually handle the internship program. That's part of outreach.
Uh-huh.
So the interns that we have this year, we started it last year with Relay for Life, is that their very first assignment is to cover that event.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's
it really
good.
is.
It's a
It
great event.
gives them some time to, be out in the community. Their first week here, they do quite a bit of outreach on their own within that event. So they interview people at Relay for Life. They get some background footage, and then they put the whole package together to air on the channel.
I saw it on TV. It was really good.
Yeah, thanks.
The girls really did a good job.
I think this year it was Jack and Jenny.
Jack and Jenny.
Yeah, Izzy
Yeah.
wasn't here yet, but Jack and Jenny did that event.
Oh, yeah,
So-
that was good.
Yeah.
That was very, very good. And I'll tell you just what a great opportunity this is. I used to live in Los Angeles, and if you tried to get into television in Los Angeles, let me tell you, it's very, very competitive. And you can go to USC or UCLA, and you can take classes in exactly what they teach you here, and you'll pay a lot of money to do that. And, coming here, I wasn't sure. They said it's $35 to join. Okay, but what's it cost to take the classes? No,
all
there's no
included.
fee. There's no fee. It's $35 to join. So if you have any interest in TV, if you're a young person in high school, it's perfect for you to come down and, learn what's offered here, help other people do their TV
We all do
shows.
internships as well.
Uh-huh.
So our intern from last year, Brianna,
Yeah.
who you know very well, came here for her summer credit, and then did a additional semester from September to December. And because of her work here, was on the very short list to a major market station. She got a job at WCVB Channel 5 in Boston.
Wonderful.
And one of the reasons for that was the work that she produced here. So all of our interns, by the time that they leave at the end of the summer, actually have a reel that they can show a prospective employer of what they have produced, what packages, what type of work that they do. And we don't segment the interns either. We make sure that they learn the camera piece of it, that they are doing directing, that they're putting together their own show. This year's interns are actually creating their own comedy sitcom
Oh, really?
in the warehouse.
Oh, great. Love to see that. That's hard to do. Comedy is the hardest
It is.
theater that you can do.
Yep, but one of the interns is actually a comedy writer. That's what she wants to do when she graduates. So they took a walk through our warehouse, which it's an adventure unto itself.
Yes, it is.
21,000 square feet of where set props go to die, I guess is really what it is. It's a funky little place out there.
Just collect a little dust. But, but we go shopping out there every once in a while,
do,
drag something in.
Exactly.
So, it also, that space out there is enormous, and it's a concrete floor, and the Salty Dogs roller skate out there. That is a women's
Roller derby.
roller derby group who skate out here. What is it, every one night a week?
I think I hear them now. I think
Are
they
they?
come in on Monday nights and Friday nights, if I remember correctly. They might have a Saturday morning too, but definitely Mondays and Friday nights.
Yeah, so that's great that they go out there and skate, and I'm sure, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure.
We have plans to do a haunted house there this.
Do you?
Yeah, Mr. Sullivan, who is one of our resident artists here at the Media Center, has produced haunted houses over his career at Barnstable High School, so he's looking to resurrect that, and then maybe possibly a dinosaur exhibit at some point in time too.
That would be great.
So yeah, we're always looking for community-minded types of things that we can do, whether it's in the studio itself. We hold numerous events here that you've actually been a part of as a volunteer. We're heating up in our election season, so we have lots of League of Women Voters are coming in with the candidate forums and the candidate debates, so we'll start that up. We do a lot of different types of events with the Cape Cod Technology Council and some of other types of organizations. The Arts Foundation has done their awards program here, and we can do those live. We just flip a switch in our control room, and your event is actually live on our channel.
That's fantastic. And you do the Noah Shelter too.
We did the Noah Shelter. We're one of the few stations out there that still do a telethon. It's not as long as something like an MDA telethon, which is over several days. I think they've actually backed that down to just one day. But we do, we start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and we go to 9 o'clock at night, and it's continuous telethon for those 5 hours. And we rely on our volunteers to produce a really good show. And they raise an enormous amount of money. Everybody loves to see themselves on TV. So when they bring people in and the phone bank is highlighted, you know, those phones actually ring. They raised almost $100,000 last year on that telethon.
Right, and it's for a very good cause, and that's a homeless shelter here on Cape Cod.
Yeah.
That's what that's for, but they have a lot of support. So I want to thank you very much for being on the show.
You're
It's
welcome.
been very interesting talking to
It was a
you.
pleasure.
as
It's nice
usual.
to be on this side of the interview. I don't get to do that very often, being the interview for several shows here. So
Yes, now tell me what shows you do. Tell our audience.
I have multiple shows. The first show I do is a What's Happening show that highlights a particular event in the community. Most nonprofits will take advantage of that. It's about 10 to 15 minutes long. I do a profile show, which is on a person or an organization, somebody that needs a little bit of outreach out there into the community to figure out who they are and be able to talk about that. I do a show called Cape Works that highlights a business or a person working in our community. And then I have a technology show called E-Steamers, Entrepreneurs Building Cape Cod's Future with Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Math that highlights STEM or STEAM here on Cape Cod. And then the last show that I do is a art gallery show. We have an art gallery here at the Media Center, so I interview the artist as well. So, and then I'll host for different other organizations if they need a host as well. So I like being in front of the camera just as much as being behind the camera. I like producing as well.
Yeah, Paula works very hard here. Very hard, and it's a great organization. So you can go to capemedia.org. You can see Paula's show. You can see our show. Our show's on demand, and Paula's shows are on demand. And you can watch some great television. So thanks for being with us today, and we'll see you next time.
You've been watching the Lori Barlow Show here on New Earth International. Catch her every Monday, same time, same place, same channel.